Where's Alexis? All right, so I'm going to start off today's session with asking, wait a minute. Echo on my side. Okay. I'm going to start off with today's session by asking continuation of yesterday's tradition. That will start off with a joke. So if today Apple were to manufacture a car, what is the top feature they would not implement? Yeah. So in essence, Apple is really going after a car, right? I mean, news has been out that there's a Apple vehicle project. Yeah. So what is the top feature that they will not actually implement in the car? Again, it's a nonsense. So don't think too hard. But it's a bit of a nonsense with a bit of a logic. Hi, Lois. Hi, Paul. Hi, Gary. Yeah. So think about this. All right. So if today Apple would manufacture a car, what's the top feature that they would not implement? While you're thinking about the questions, let's go for yesterday's what is actually happening. Yep, we are still in Cat 3 and I think we are in good hands to reach the targeted level. So yeah, yep. And coincidentally, it would be a good idea if you want to take partial profit from here. I would not recommend take half, take quarter or whatever, but price has actually traveled quite a fair bit. So it is a good idea to take partial profit. Now, personally for me, I won't be taking any profit. I will still let the trade run. I will be trailing though. Yeah, so incidentally, I trailed to this level. Sorry, here. Yeah, so this is a good run. Cat 3 as a reversal from last week. Yesterday, I've also traded Euro Aussie. Price is at a bit of a negative at the moment. Yeah, so you can see that yesterday, wanted to trade Euro Aussie for a reversal standpoint. A bit late to the game, I would say. Yeah, so I was really anticipating this. I am anticipating this, and my anticipation was, I'm not about to say right, I mean, but what I wanted to see actually did happen. Yeah, so on the H4 side, price did actually imprint this bar, so I was happy to see it. Now, I actually didn't get in at this bar because if you remember during the show, I wanted price to break this. Yeah, so it did happen. So I actually went in at this bar instead. Yep. So let's see if all will turn out well. Wait, that's not the square to use. Yeah. So my stop loss is actually a bit huge, I would say. Kind of huge. It's like a daily bar entry. Yeah. But oh well, that's the way it goes. So I've already been triggered into Euro Aussie, and we'll see whether this will be another successful reversal trade. See how that goes. Am I in Aussie dollar? I think I'm in Aussie dollar. Oh yeah, I'm in Aussie dollar. So, oh yeah, I did actually update you all yesterday. It was this bearish bar that I got in. Price is still in a bit of a negative, but it's near to entry. So for those of you who are interested in this trade, this will be a second opportunity for you to get in. I've traded based on this bearish bar, which is a rejection of last week's closing price. Yeah. Overall, I'm still bearish about Aussie. And this actually ties in very well with the fundamental setup. Now, fundamentally, I think I'm right in saying that Lexis wanted to go short on Aussie and long on USD. Yeah, so this was fundamentally, this was a nice setup that coincides with it. Now, I have to clarify that it wasn't the fundamentals I'm trading it. It was purely just the technicals I'm trading. Yeah, just that it ties in nicely with the fundamental picture. Dollar yen, I think I can close this chart. I don't think for this week actually come back and retest. I was just Aussie dollar. I have to admit, this pair is really tempting me to break my rules. Huge temptation for me to break my rules. As you can see, the color of the background is green, so I'm actually bullish about it. Weekly chart, very nice low test bar. And that is, this level has been rejected multiple times. Yeah, so technically, it is tempting me to break my rules. Because my rules allow me to trade from this level long. So if anything happens here, I have to be frank to myself. I'm actually breaking my own rules.
Never mind lah, Lloyd. Just give me $1.
Thanks, Alexis. Yeah, so the temptation is there. The temptation is real. It's not about losing $1 to Alexis. It's about my ego. I'm not willing to lose the $1. I can resist it for now. See if I'm going to break my rules, I will break it in front of everyone. Yeah. Temptation is real, but I'm still able to resist it. Look, I'll be frank is that I will stop resisting the temptation if price actually does this. That's when I'll be really keen to break my own rules. Yeah, simply because it will have if price really does that, then this will be a inverted head and shoulder that I may possibly jump in at the earliest moment, and I may possibly scale in here. Yeah. I think this is a good time to actually to address the elephant in the room is that on Monday you hear me bashing about gold that there's no reason for gold to go long. You have to understand, my opinions are just my opinions. Okay. I will never allow my opinions to affect the way I trade. I like to gossip, I like to complain, but when it's time and that to come, when the time comes to take a technical setup, I will still do it. That's me. Okay. Don't be confused by the way I trade. I think, is it just a Singaporean thing that we just talk shit, but when time comes to do it, we still do it? I don't know. USD, SGD, and USD Yen both are gone. Now, I also took a reversal trade, which no, that's not this. So there was a reversal trade I took. I forgot which one was it. When I come back, I will highlight to you. Yeah. But anyway, Alexis, for today, the question for today is that if Apple were to manufacture a car, there's this new Apple car, what is the top feature that they would not implement? Hey, wait, Paul actually gave the answer already. Yep, he's right. And NJ also gets it right just now.
I don't think Singapore allowed though. We can't even tint our windows.
That's the answer.
Yeah, I mean, you know how we have to go for like the car inspection thing, and then they'll check how dark your windows are. So I don't think Singapore allow. If we can't even tint our windows, how are we supposed to have a no window cars? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Singaporeans are rich enough. Every time get caught, just pay $1,000 only.
Maybe Malaysia will be popular. You know, then people cannot bring in the car.
Possibly, yeah.
But people might just steal the whole car lah.
Apple car will be smart enough. It'll be full of what's the latest gadget that they have? This little tracking, what do they call it? This circular thing that they track their items. Yeah. But anyway, that's it. For Apple car, the top feature that they will not implement is window. So Paul, you're right. All right, so with that, just now I have a chat with Alexis. She wanted to try something. No, Blue is not no door, no windows. No windows. Right. So Alexis, I've done my crosses. Still a boring day for me. Took one reversal trick setup and one normal trick. Yeah, one reversal trick setup. Yeah, that's it. Let's hop over to you and the following what you're about to go after, which is the number one trading technique that most new traders would want to pursue. Let's see what you have for us.
Okay, so let's see. I know how do I do this. Okay, so I'm just going to share a couple of stuff now. I disclaimer first. This is not tradable on Actions to Wealth accounts, and this is also not recommended without back testing of your own. All right. It's actually, I think I've discussed with Lloyd, and we're going to talk a little bit about scalping. Now the reason why we want to chat about that is because I think in COVID times, everybody is work from home, stuck at home, you know, and then they have so much computer time. We all like to try funny stuff. So me and Lloyd, we actually went through a scalping period, I think last year, you know, I lasted only about 5 days before I punched it because it was very tiring for me. So it's not my favorite way to trade. I think Lloyd lasted how long? You last 2 weeks or something, trying to scalp that thing that we did last year.
It lasted a month. Then
A month. I cannot. I punch it in 2 weeks.
it was
1
the
week.
one that we tried with the prop account. I passed with it.
Yeah.
Then it was because of news that I got kicked out. So like,
sad. Yeah, so we're gonna talk about scalping, and there are many ways to do it. I mean, if you go and like Google scalping strategies, right, there are many ways to actually scalp. So we actually experimented over the COVID period, you know, since we're all so free at home anyway, and we just had a quick chat about scalping. And I can understand why scalping is a very how you call it? I think it's a very popular starting position for very new traders, because you see the money the fastest, right? If you are in the right direction, you can actually see your trade shoot like really fast, a couple of $100 within a few minutes, you know, depending on your risk management. But then on the flip side, a lot of new traders also get crashed out very fast. So you get the feeling of high, and you keep chasing after that high, because if you mentally, I think if you can see that, wow, in just half an hour you can make $200, right? Even if I lose the $200 in the next half an hour, I think at the back of your head, you are it's a very human thing to be aware of the possibility of, if I just practice this, it means I can make $200 every hour. And that's a very scary thing to implement in your head. And that's why a lot of new traders, they crash out in the beginning because of scalping. So let's just so today we're going to have a short session about scalping, and you know, just explore some techniques that are out there. All right, they're out there. Now these techniques, I would say they're only tested over a certain period while we were doing it last year, and they're not suitable for everybody. All right. So I think Lloyd, what was your scalping time frame? You went 5 minutes or 15 minutes for yours?
I tried both. 5 and
Try
15.
both. All right.
Yeah, but eventually I stick to 15.
So I tried 15, 5, and 1, and then I tried the 1 minute for a very short period of time, and I couldn't do it. Like it's too much. It is too much. It was too intense for me. All right. So this is how, let me just, and I did it on, I think, Pound Yen. So I'm just going to show you guys. Now I won't share any templates or anything. Like I say, this is not a strategy for everyone, and it is not a strategy where I would recommend you start off with, but it's just to explore the things that we read out there, the things that's available out there. All right, so we have over here a 1 minute / 5 minute strategy. So over here, you can see the zigzag lines. So what I did was I took Lloyd's zigzag indicator to look for cyclicity on the shorter time frame, and the shorter time frame I'm looking at is 5 minutes, right? So what I want to do, or what my trading plan for scalping is to pick up the trades at the red dots over here, right, on the 5 minute, and then on the 1 minute time frame, find the entry. So back then when I was trading, I had two screens, one screen on the 5 minute, one screen on the 1 minute. All right, and that was how I attempted to trade this. It was very intense, took a lot of concentration. I could make, and I started with a very small account. I think my account was like the testing account was only like $200 inside. I could make like $60 in half an hour just by catching one trade. So it was really, really cool. I could see the appeal, but after 5 days, I lost everything back to the market because I punched it. All right, whatever 60s I gained in the 4 days, on the 5th day, I think I lost all my profits. So this is why it's not for everybody. Maybe if you can concentrate, you can do it, but I really cannot. I can't sit in front of the computer to do that. So let's just explore this. I'm not going to teach the full thing because I don't think it is something that you should do unless you are prepared to sit in front of the computer at certain periods of the day, very, very intensive, and to just stare at the charts, and you must have a very good trigger finger. All right, so let's just jump into this particular way I trade. I can honestly tell you guys, I don't trade anymore. I'm just going to paper. I'll try to take 1 or 2 paper trades for this session just for fun, paper trade, but I no longer trade this because I cannot sustain it. All right, but if you guys have any comments or you want us to try anything, do let us know. And of course, there is also a scalping course available in the Actions to Wealth for Actions to Wealth graduates. But again, it comes with the disclaimer that you have to fund your own trading account for it. I don't know whether fund how much. Do you know, like, how much do you have to fund the account for?
No, there's not a limit that you have to fund the account. It's just that then they have a I would say offer to fund their own account. Yeah, for the scalping, they cannot scalp it on AEW account.
Ah, okay. I'm just going to do I'm just going to do the back testing just to
But the template look
show.
very familiar.
Yeah, it's your template ma, after the testing. Then after
Wait,
that 2 weeks.
are you going to jump straight into this without going through the usual setup first? Or is there's nothing on the usual setup for you?
Nothing. If have,
Okay.
I will jump already. Today, nothing. I mean, I hope some of you got into the 7 to 8 p.m. setups. I could jump into them for a while. We could always come back here. So, last night, let me see what pairs I'm in. Sorry, I think okay. I have okay. So, I think most of you know that I was in Aussie dollar yesterday, and my stop loss actually got hit. So I had to re-enter the trade again. And so I re-entered the trade, and now you can see it's a setup. If you have missed the trade for Aussie dollar yesterday, is it still okay to go in now? Well, price has just broken the daily pivot over here, and according to the laws of probability, it might do this again. So you can actually have a second chance to catch it nearer. So don't rush into this trade. All right. We probably will have a bit of time, and of course my first target is here, and my second target will be on a bigger time frame. Now, when we are trading pairs like that, and depending on the time frame again, do be careful when you are scaling in. So it looks good for me to scale in one more time here, but I will only do it when the trade is safe. So very rarely will I scale in if the entries are so close together, because then it makes no point. Where is my next level of scaling in is actually here. Okay, if price can reach here and do this, then this is my next part where I want to scale in. So I will shift my profit levels towards the downside as I go along. All right, once it gets a bit nearer. And the reason why I do this is because on the times where I'm away from the screen, at least I know that my trades are safe. All right, so I won't leave my profit too far away, because if you walk away from the computer, especially on the H1, and your profit level is too far away, there is going to be like half the time where the charts will do this, where the charts will do like over here, right? You can see if I walk away from the computer and my pair goes like that and back like that, I will be a bit grumpy, because it will mean that I could have taken profit here and find a new entry here later on. All right, so this is my personal trade management on the H1. Why I put certain profit levels, because when price does touch and come back, I'd rather take the profit and re-enter later. And this is according to the so-called hunting dog style. For those of you who have attended Gordon's stocks, right, you actually know that there's a more extreme version of a hunting dog, which is the dragonfly. I think me and Lloyd is quite funny, because I'm the extreme of one side, he's the extreme of the other side. So I'm an extreme hunting dog, which is a dragonfly, and I think Lloyd is the extreme jaguar, which is a polar bear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Lloyd's a polar bear and I'm a dragonfly. So that's why we are so different in the way we trade. Yeah, like we're actually at the extremes. So it's quite funny.
Louis is asking you about pound odd.
Pound Aussie. Okay, let's see pound odd.
Pound the Aussie. Pound the Aussie. Sorry.
Pound. It's terrible, like. Pound Aussie. Yeah. I mean, just looking at pivot levels, I am looking for short, but let's see where it goes. If you're looking for potential, I think this is a potential change in direction, I guess. But potential. I do see a potential short, but I don't see a setup yet. At least not on the strategy that I have. Yeah, I mean, I would want to go short on this. So probably when I will go short is when, where is my drawing line? Is if price doesn't go too far above here and comes back with a bearish bar here, and then this will be my hourly entry. So it will look very similar to Lloyd's, this move, I think. right? So I would, but my direction is short because very simply my daily pivot has moved down. So I can't, I can't go long here at the moment. All right. What I am conscious of, right? What I am conscious of is I'm conscious that on the daily time frame, on the daily time frame, I'm just going to zoom out a bit to see the bigger picture. Okay, let me just do this as well. So on the daily time frame, I'm just a bit conscious that this is still happening. Okay, so I'm looking at the bigger picture right now, right? So the bigger picture is this is still happening. We still have room. We still have room here, which means we are somewhere in like a middle ground, just eyeballing the area. So what it means is if I go short, I have to go with care because it looks like a retracement, and then this is another probability. So with that in mind, if I can find a way short, it just means that I will take profit faster because the bigger trend still looks like the uptrend, and my reversal indicators, and I trade RSI too for reversals. My reversal indicators doesn't tell me anything yet, so I can't reverse this trade until my strategy sets up. So for this, okay, for this pair, if it does point me short, I will go short, but I would prefer to take it on the long side if I can find a way in, because the daily trend still looks bullish. It just looks like, if we go to the weekly time frame or monthly time frame, I think we are in, let me see, I'm just going to put a line over here. Okay, and my line is just I'm trying to see whether there's any resistance level coming up. It does look like some kind of resistance level, not quite clear. Let me zoom out a bit more. Let me look at the weekly, see whether there's anything. I think this purple line here I have, I'm just shaking it for you guys to see. It does look like there's some kind of resistance, a horizontal level here. So there is an opportunity for a bounce in, but again, in the bigger picture, right, you can actually see there is still room to the next high. Prices are still going up, so it is a matter of, can we do this, or will it come back down and do this, or will it come back down here? So this is option 1, 2, 3, right? If we do the weekly bigger time frame analysis, but if I trade based on strategy rules, okay, it means that for me to be able to go short, I have to wait for a bearish bar, and of course I will take profit over here because my bias is still towards the long side. Yeah, I'm not sure if that helps, but I can't find an entry to this pair. So if it happens, I'll go short. If tomorrow daily pivot goes up, then I can go long also. So we'll trade what we see. I have no fundamental bias for pound Aussie because, yeah, I have no fundamental bias for it. The pound Aussie is very, like, both of them, it's okay. I think it's just very rangy, strong one moment, the next, the week, the next. So I've got no bias for this pair. So I'll just trade it very technically. I mean, there is a possibility for long. Yeah, I mean, I agree with Lloyd. Lloyd wants to go long. So on the daily, I will go long, but on the hourly, I have to follow my rules, and it's a short setup. So if I'm not sure, then don't trade long. Don't trade until the setup appears. If tomorrow daily pivot goes up, I'm more than happy to take long.
Actually, just to clarify, this frequently happens between me and Alexis.
Yeah.
It's not. And what happens next is actually both of us will turn out right. Yeah, it happens more times than I bother to count. Yeah, because what she's saying is actually completely right. In the sense that the H1 have a high chance to actually go for a retracement, and she actually aims for that retracement. Yeah, and it works out for hunting dog really well. Yeah. Then after that, you'll bounce back to my intended direction. Yeah. So I think it's one of those things whereby for people who trade multiple time frames, you have to be aware of, or people who follows, or for those of you who are not so sure in your trading style, and when you're listening to confusion that's introduced by Lloyd and Alexis, you have to be really aware that when we meant our direction, our analysis, we meant it for a particular time frame. There's not so much of which trading personality we are, but our analysis is meant to suit a particular time frame. Yeah, that is very important.
Yeah, definitely agree on that. I mean, a lot of times both myself and Lloyd, we can take the same trades, but half the time I'm usually out before he does if we're in the same direction, right? I TP already, he's still sitting on it. So he gets the 1:3 or 1:5. I will get the 1:1, 1:2, because that's just the way we trade lah. And same thing, sometimes he wants to go long, he'll take a long. I want to go short, I'll take a short. So what will happen is my short will hit TP and I'm out. And then a few days later, he will get TP because he went back up, but I'm already out of it. So it's just a time frame difference of the trading style that we trade. So it's got nothing to do with right or wrong. We're both just trying to take pips off the chart as per our trading style. Yeah.
Yep, completely. All right, so let me ask one more round. You don't want to hear Alexis about her scalping, how she does about it. The style that made her give up within 2 weeks. It's not very often. It's not very often that you hear her saying that I give up.
Yes, it's not very often that I give up, but this one I give up. I realized that I cannot scalp. I suck at it. I'm very bad at it. I have no patience for it. It makes me tired. After scalping, I feel like sleeping.
Well, then you should scalp more.
Then I can sleep better. No, I waste time. I'd rather go do something else.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so we have heard about your analysis of pound. Let's go back to your scalping and see whether it actually benefits some folks out there. By the way, do you scalp a certain time period of the day?
Yes, I usually scalp either Euro Open, which is between, I think about now, between 2:45 to 3:45, or the US Open, which is half an hour before and after. So it's about one hour, max 2 hours during the US market. Yeah, so maybe my scalping time is about maybe like 8:30 to 10:30-ish, around there. So for that 1 week, I either ate dinner very late or ate dinner before 8:30 because it was a bit tight. It was very hard. I tried eating dinner during the scalping session the first few days. I cannot concentrate. Like, I don't know where to look the food or the chart. And then I eat two mouth. I see, hey shit, I should have pressed enter, but the thing fly already. So yeah, I can't multitask eating and scalping. Okay. Let me see. Before we go there, I have a quick. Okay, so Aussie Swiss Yen. Before we go there, Swiss Yen, as you guys all know, I am biased long on the Swiss. I'm very happy to see that it's paused over here on the daily time frame. Is having some problem going past WS1, and also my reversal indicator does look like there is a potential setup. So what I'm looking for, I don't think the trade will appear today, but what I'm looking for on the H1 it depends on, I think it depends on the next few candles whether I get a bullish move. All right, and my bullish move has to happen in terms of engulfing, not a high test bar, because on a H1 a high test bar sometimes is a bit deceiving. There's a name for that, but I don't know what is it called, but it's the reverse kind, the what you call it, you see a high test bar then it still goes the other way anyway, right? So what I'm looking for is bullish engulfing over here.
Hanging man, you were saying.
I think hanging man, something like that, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm looking to potentially see whether I can get one entry towards the upside. All right, and this will be a small risk because it's the first entry of what is a potential reversal. So what I'm looking for also is I'm looking for the first higher high. So this is like a double so-called test of a horizontal level. I'm trying to find this kind of entry, the first higher high. So it depends on this next few candles where it will go. And on the daily time frame, okay, again, take reference to the bigger time frame to see where's my Swiss Yen chart that I already draw the. I think I deleted it. Okay, so on the Swiss Yen chart, okay, as you guys remember, I have a rectangle thing over here. All right, and there's WS2 over here. So it is already at the bottom part of this rectangle. So I am ready to wait for an entry long. I don't know if it will happen, but we will see maybe the next couple of days whether it appears. But Swiss Yen is now back on my radar because it looks like there is a exhaustion of sellers here and their buyers holding this line. So we'll see whether or not it turns out okay for me. And when the trade comes, I will holler. Okay, let's go back to scalping. Okay, so Scalping, I've chosen the pound yen very simply because now is the pound market is open now, means that I get movement now. What I'm looking for is really simple. On the oops, where did my chart go? On the 5 minute, I've drawn lines at the little dots at the bottom. So what I'm looking for, I'm moving the line. I'm looking for 5 minutes where there is what you call it, a lower high or a blue dot that appear. And then what I'm looking for on the H1 is if a lower high will appear. So I'm trading the cyclicity towards the downside on the 1 minute zigzag and the 5 minute zigzag. I mean, I hope you guys understand. So 5 minutes, right? I'm trying to look for a blue dot. Once I can find a blue dot, I will peep on the 1 minute and see whether I get a lower high, and I will trade the lower high. So over here, okay, if I've got a blue dot with this black line over here, right? So what I'm looking for is on the 1 minute, will I get a lower high here? And if I got a lower high here, I will paper trade it in the next 1 minute. So this one looks like might be a possible lower high, and see whether I get it. But again, you will notice that there is red, white, and green, and these are not normal price action candle. This is the, what do you call it? The Williams. Is it a Haken? Is it a Haken SG? I can't remember what you gave me.
Oh, that's not Haken.
It's the momentum one, where green means there's buying momentum, red means there's selling momentum, white means the momentum is below a certain number.
You mean the indicator?
Yeah, the red, white, green thing. For the let me see what is it. Okay.
Isn't it WPR?
Yeah, I think it's WPR. The control I. It's oh yeah, it says WPR candles. Okay, yes. Okay, so this has happened. Lower, and then a red appears. So what I'll do is I'll put a market order. Okay, market order, and I will market order, and I'll just sell here. Okay, market order, sell here. Okay, my stop loss will be here. Okay, my profit level will be at the next lower low. Okay, so this is trade number 1, done like that. Whether or not make or lose, I don't know. We'll see where the thing runs to, right? But basically, once I place the order, I have to sit and stare at it and see whether I get stopped out and see whether I find an entry. Because half the time you might be wrong. I got stopped out, it turned back green, so one losing trade. But then I got another blue. Let me see. I got no lower high, so I can't trade it anymore. I'm gonna wait for the next lower high or higher low, depending. So I'm gonna go back to 5 minutes and hunt. All right, 5 minutes. It looks like I either have to go lower high or higher low. So I got no lower high, no higher low. So I gotta wait. So this is one way of one example of a very intense. And imagine you just have to toggle 5 minute, 1 minute, 5 minute. I got really blurred that day, but yeah. So what I'm waiting for on the 5 minutes right now, if it does appear, is for either a red dot, and now I have a blue dot. So now I have a blue dot. So let me move this over here. So again, the cyclicity looks like it's more long side, right? Because on the 5 minute, you can see the cyclicity is more towards the upside. You can higher lows, higher high. So I prefer to go long on the 1 minute. All right, but I have no red dot. So I have to wait for a red dot to appear, and then you go long. Or alternatively, if I wait for a lower high to trade back down to the red dot and exit, then we will see how that happens. So it's a matter of waiting. So usually I will stare at the charts for half an hour, 45 minutes. Then there's one trade that came. So it's very intense because the moment I go toilet, I can swear the trade appears. It's like a bit sway one. So this is how we trade. WPR is momentum, is it? We are using momentum.
It's still measuring momentum.
Momentum. Yeah, momentum. Yeah, so guys, thanks Louis for reminding. This is paper trading. I'm not actually, you can see I'm just drawing lines. I'm not actually taking entries, because we just really have to keep the charts open, but this is some momentum trading. So based on these candles, I'm gonna backtrack for you guys. Okay, let's do back testing. Since we are just okay, so we're just going to do a bit of back testing. Okay, and I'm just going to do these 3 black lines over here. These are the 3 5-minute candles. Okay, let's take a look. Let's take a look at them on the 1 minute. Okay, no, wait, sorry, wrong. This is the 1 minute candle. Let me do it on the on the 5-minute candles. All right, now let me move this slightly nearer. I think I got one more over here. So you can see on the 5-minute chart, the momentum is towards the upside because I got higher lows that are coming up. Okay, and for example, if I see this 5 minutes higher low over here, this middle black line, let me delete this one so I don't overshoot it. It means that at this area, I want to look for longs. So if I go to the 1 minute time frame, I'm looking for this area. What I am looking for is I'm looking for the higher lows, the opportunity to jump in. There's actually a high-low trend over here. Wait, what is this? This not a Bollinger Band, right? This high-low trend thing. I can't remember what.
This is a channel for high-low trend.
Yeah, so this channel for high-low trend also courtesy of Lloyd. So what I used to do, right, is to use it to see whether, of course, high-low trends means it shows you the high and low of the move of the candle. All right, so I use it to make sure that I'm not buying. I'm not buying at the tops and I'm not selling at the bottoms of this line. That's all. I use it to avoid the entries. Okay, I don't actually trade when it touches the line because if I'm not wrong, it repaints. It repaints along the way, so it's really hard to catch. So I just see that if it's near the line, very hard to go long. If it's near the line at the bottom, very hard to go short. So I just use it to pause, right, to wait for my trades. So what I'll look for if its price comes down, okay, I got some kind of bullish engulfing, a green candle appears, all right, and if it's near the line, I will avoid it. If it's away from the line, I will take it, or if I get a lower high, I'll take it. So I need to see some price action. So prices like this, I'll wait for a low test bar or a very clear engulfing. I don't really trade engulfing here, but I trade more low test bars, I think, if I remember correctly, because engulfing was a bit hard to see with all the white candles. So trades like this, the low test bar, usually I will take an entry sum here because I'm usually a bit slower. And then my stop loss is usually here. So this is a 1:2, and I'm out. I'm out here already. Okay, and what I'm looking for, why I exit is because I would have seen a low test bar. So 2 ways I trade this. I either move my entry to stop loss and just park my stop loss here and wait, which means I trail the stop loss because I'm ready to momentum and just let it run. And then if I see another low test bar somewhere along the way, I think over here I won't find an entry until something like this, where a green candle appears. All these green candles are potential trade setups, but I prefer this green one because it looks like nice engulfing. So again, I will enter here. Okay, and my stop loss is usually below the previous swing. Okay, before the previous swing. And then once it hits about 1:1, I either move my stop loss to entry and wait. And according to Lloyd back then, his advice was once you see a white candle, it means that the momentum has exhausted. I either TP or I move and stop loss to entry. So it was very tiring back then because I had to actually write down whether if it turns white, do I take profit or do I move entry to stop loss? Both has its pros and cons, right? But again, my personality is the take profit kind. So usually 1:1, I'm out. But it was very tiring. But it was very profitable for that 1 hour. 1 hour on a $200 account, I can make $60 on 1 to 2 trades. Yeah, and I was quite careful with my risk because I didn't want to like take 2 trades, then my 200 gone, I got to restart the whole thing again. Yeah. So this is intense trading. And if we look at it now, actually, it's quite, let me see if the setup has appeared yet on the 5-minute. 5-minute red candle. Possible, I think it's possible. 5 minutes looks like it's still a cyclicity on the upside. I think we can wait for a red dot to appear, which is a repainted thing again. So we might have a red dot that's appearing. So I'm just going to move this black line to somewhere we can observe the current candle. Okay, so you can see, oh, this is a lower high. So I'll wait till a higher high appears. So this is what I do. Every 5 minutes, I move my black line. So I know my place in the 5-minute candle. And then every 1 minute candle, I'm just waiting to see the first higher low. Yeah, so that's the tiring way of doing this. Again, this strategy, I would say I think I started with a EMA cross. No, I started with trading cyclicity, just purely cyclicity, right? So I was just trading on the first higher low, higher high. And then Lloyd gave me all these extra colors and indicators, which actually improved my scalping edge a bit, but still too tiring. Yeah, still too tiring.
Will you ever go back to scalping?
I don't think so. I feel that instead of sitting 2 hours for that one trade, right? I think I'd rather spend that 1.5 hours playing game and just take a normal H1 trade. Then now got a lot of crypto games, right? So yeah, I think I have enough things to do to keep me occupied instead of scalping. So no, I won't go back to scalping. It's just I think scalping now, what I do scalping for is to practice my eyes for price action. That's it. It's just to try to get a bit of price action practice, right? To program my brain to see momentum. Like and that's how I got a little bit better at technical analysis, because I started to see things like what was it that I had problems, the Julian one, that smash bar.
Smash. Oh, wow.
Yeah, the smash bar was kind of like a hanging man, right? Because it went the other way, right? Is it? Yeah, so I got a little bit better at seeing the hanging man slash smash bars, because I just practiced my eyes on it to see that, oh, so this is what an exhaustion of momentum looks like. And instead of the high test bar going up, it actually went the other way, because the pattern looks like this. So I actually use it to practice recognizing patterns, but I don't trade it. Yeah, because price action on 1 minute in terms of what the chart is telling you is the same, right? A low test, high test bar means that there is a lot of selling in that 1 minute, right? Or there's a lot of buying in that 1 minute. It's just the candle appears the same way. It's just because it just means that in that time frame, this is what's happening on the charts. So it's very good to practice your recognizing of patterns, but I don't think it's good to trade lah. Yeah.
Yesterday actually, how many of you actually gave me some attention during 8:30? My YouTube share optional for it. Or nobody gave me any love. Yeah. Actually talking about smash bar, yesterday's presentation, I did a bit of what I did was the trading of price action. I actually gave away an indicator which detected 4 price actions. So it was detecting, I mean, not that I gave away, it wasn't, the indicator wasn't done by me. I found it as always, and then I just shared with you all. Yeah. So yeah, this was after some back testing. So this was what I had. Yeah, so yesterday's session I was testing it for hammer shooting star. So for some of you, that would be the low test and high test bar. Yeah, so it was a very simple test. So each pair I took about 20 trades. And this one was with trend filter, which I did it on a daily time frame. Yeah, so the stop loss as usual was at either the high or low of the bar, and I'm doing it based on market entry. That means when the price action appears, it will be market entry. So it's quite a simple one. Yeah, trend filter, I use half trend. I don't know how many of you are familiar with that, but it doesn't matter about the trend filter. That means I have a trend filter. Yeah, so at the end, this was the result. This is done on daily time frame. So if you're aiming for $10 and going for $20 profit, so at the end of the day, after 300 trades, right? So that means each pair I go about 20 trades. You'll be up by about 72%. Win rate is about 41.33. That's for just a simple test bar without any other form of analysis. Yeah. Then if you're going for $10 and aiming for $40 win, then at the end of 300 trades, you'll be up by 150%. Then the win rate is naturally lower. Yeah. I gotta admit that a 30% win rate is also personally it's hard for me to swallow. Yeah. The lowest win rate that I have for my strategy is about 35%. And so 30% is really, really hard to swallow. Yeah. So and my next 3 sessions I will also be testing about price actions. Yeah. Actually, what made me did this test was between these 2. Yeah. So this one I did it without trend filter. Absolutely no trend filter. So without trend filter, that means any hammer or shooting star that pops up, I'll be taking it. And this is the results that ends up. I mean, the win rate is drops to about 27%, 28%, and at the end of 600 trades, okay, without trend filter, I have to increase the number of trades. Yeah, after 600 trades, I'm down by 102. That's in terms of percentage. Yeah, and the next result actually caught me by surprise. So if I risk going for $10 and $40 win, after 600 trades, I'm still up by 15%. Yeah, so it actually strengthens the way that how I view the market. So the first thing that it strengthens is which is common one, trade trend. I mean, naturally, when you trade trends, then whether you go for low profit or high profit, you'll still be in profit. Okay, everybody wants profit, right? Yeah. So that's the first thing. So with trend filter, the results improve dramatically, drastically. And the other thing is that now, which is the primary reason why I'm a Jaguar or a polar bear, is that the times where even if you're wrong, okay, if you disregard all things, even if you're wrong, but when you're right and you allow the trade to run, that means you reach $10 for $40, you still be profitable. I mean, not by a huge margin, but at the end of the day, is that the correct trade, if you just don't micromanage it and you allow it to run, you still be up. Yeah. So that's the two lessons which I took away. I mean, following on for the next 1.5 months, I'll be testing on dark cloud cover, piercing line, and engulfing bar. Yeah, so I'll be sharing the results on YouTube. So, and personally, I love to trade hammer test bars. Yeah, I think it's just one of the easiest price action to trade. Just that it's also easily abused. Yeah, so this is something that which I think is interesting to share for those of you who are price action traders. Yeah, I'm not trading it based on bouncing off any level. Yeah, if it's with trend, the price action shows up. Don't care where it shows up, take the trade. Yeah, so this is the simplest way of trading, and this is a result, which I think is not bad, or rather, actually, it's actually pretty good, I would say.
Is there any time preference to this as well, or is just as and when the thing comes up?
Like, what am I time preference?
Like will it be more profitable in the Euro or / US opening? You know the time.
Oh, I took it based on daily time frame.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think there's merit to be tested on the 4-hour and hourly time frame. I think there are merits to that. Just that needs more testing to be done. I personally, I mean, looking forward, I think the engulfing bar would have better results simply because engulfing are a 2-bar price action. Yeah, hammers are just 1-bar price action. Okay. Let me see if any questions that is there. Paul, how to stop the alarm indicator? There's a when you right click on this indicator, just go to the settings. There's a alarm option. Just turn it to false. Yeah, that should stop the alarm indicator. Yeah, the alarm is actually kind of irritating. I agree. Louis also stop. US opening. Took a different form of scalping opposite direction after a huge surge reaching DR2 and DS2 in M5. Okay. Actually, I tested DR2 and DS2 taking opposite trades without price action. That means when price hits DR2 and DS2, yeah, I tested based on 1 hour. Wasn't profitable. Yeah, but that is without price action. It's purely just touch of levels. Yeah, so possibly with price action, the result might be different. Okay, so yeah, I'll just go ahead and share the way that I used to stop. I don't do it nowadays because like Alexis, I do suffer from mental fatigue quite easily. Yeah, and I'm not supposed to say that, but don't care. I mean, I do this when I was Alexis and Rick, we were playing around and then actually signing up for a prop account. Yeah, I actually passed the prop account. Yeah, the stupid thing was 2 weeks after I passed the prop account, I passed the test, I was being kicked out. Yeah, because in the prop account there's this requirement that I cannot close a trade during news time within 2 minutes of a great news release. Yeah, so the way that I trade was that I put a fixed take profit level. Then it's just so nice that it hit the take profit line during that 2 minutes window of important news. Then I was kicked out. Ta-da! I was like,
At
what
least,
the heck?
at least you kind of pass. I think I think the first week I already hit half the target. Then the second week is the week I almost then punch it, everything back flat. Yeah, the second week I really punch it. So funny that one.
But it was good times, lah. I mean, it was
Yeah, it was
fun
good.
fun to play.
I think I learned a lot. I think I learned a lot during that time. It was very. It was like a boot camp, that 2 weeks trading with you guys. Yeah.
So actually, the way that I simply did it was that I won't reveal my settings. Yeah. So you can still see that I'm trading off OHLC. Yeah, OHLC is still the primary level that I trade. Yeah. Then of course the chaos indicator that y'all have heard me talk about. I modified a bit further back testing on it. Happy with the results, just that I don't use it anymore. So if the lower band is shaded, that means the trend is I should short it. Yeah. Then if the upper band is shaded, that means I should be going for long. That part is easy. Yeah. Then I'm just waiting for retracement. Once the retracement is done, I'll be entering the markets. Yeah, that's about how I trade, or rather, that's how I stop at 10. Yeah, and I did it on a 15-minute time frame. So I think this would be an example. You can see that price retrace, the shaded bottom below, very nice. Price retrace. This will be the faster WPR setting actually. Yeah. So once the price retrace up and it hits a level, so the level is defined by the OHLC, then I'll be shorting it. Yeah, that's all. And yeah, actually that's how I stopped in the past. The rather lazy way of stopping. I don't do much analysis. It's just whether the indicator will tell me directions. The indicator will tell me whether there's a retracement, and the indicator OHLC will tell me whether there's a level that I should be trading from. Yeah. That's all. What I'm waiting for, it's not as intensive as the way that Alexis trades. Yeah, because after I still rely on alarms. When there's alarm, retracement is there, then I'll go and take a look. I don't know whether it works on a 1 minute time frame. It might, yeah, might or might not. I have to do further testing, so I don't know.
I think for some people who have that kind of concentration, I think it should. It will. I'm sure there are some really good scalpers. I've seen some videos on really good scalpers, but I think it's really a personality thing. You either can do it, or you cannot do it. And I'm in the cannot part. I'm in the cannot make it part.
My issue with scalping is that I don't know when to take profit.
I do get what you mean by that.
Yeah, because for a swing trade, I can target when to take profit, or I leave it as 3-1. You see? So ironically for scalping is that if I take too early, I'll be like, what the heck am I doing? If I don't take too early, and as you all know about scalping, it's very choppy the lower time frame. I'll be like, why didn't I just take profit? Yeah, so my issue is actually with taking profit.
Then you think too. You know why? Because you think too much also. To take or not to take, to take or not to take. Then I'm like, crap.
Anyway, from Louis to Alexis is that, do you have an opinion on the economy affecting oil in the near future?
I think I've shared part of it yesterday, which I will reiterate about again. Wait, let me just close my oil trade first. Hang on. I actually put in an oil trade just now, but it didn't. I think it's there's some exhaustion going on, so I just closed off the trade. Let me just open my share screen. where is my share screen button? Hang on, I'm looking for the where's the button? It disappeared. Okay, got it. Share screen. There you go. Okay, hopefully we can get easily in to give us her take on oil, but let's just see what I have. Okay, so yesterday I was sharing how I trade oil and how I like to trade oil in a very structured manner. So I actually took about 2 hours earlier, I actually took a trade on this here. So my entry was somewhere around this green dot here, and my exit is somewhere here. I had to manually exit it because like the candle almost hit, then came back down. And the reason why I exited instead of waiting for it to go back up is because I'm a bit uncertain about oil in the sense that I don't think there is a lot of upside for oil, and mainly it's really because of how economy is playing out. If we go to, for example, I'm just going to use this trading one because the charts are a bit clearer. Okay, if I'm going to go to this is the monthly time frame for oil, right? Let me just, how do I zoom out? Okay, so this is a monthly time frame for oil, and what I am looking at is I'm just looking at things like what is the pricing now and how far back it went. So 2015, you can see 2015 was a time where oil broke below the $75 mark. This I have two price points here, 75 and 90. So 2015 oil broke below the $75 mark, tested it again in somewhere in 2019, and then I think 2019 we had a crash in oil that went all the way down to end of 2019 to early 2020. I can't remember how long was COVID. Was COVID in 2020? Yeah, I think 2020, right? Yeah, COVID was in 2020, and I think February, March, right? We had oil went down all the way to like zero with negative contracts because of how the world suddenly stopped moving. Right, so we had the crash over in this period, and now prices are back to previous highs. And is the previous highs for the past 15 to 21, past 6 years. So the question next is, will oil push to this level? Okay, and oil is a commodity, so which means we are looking at supply and demand. Okay, has demand changed? Has supply changed? So during the period where oil crashed, it was because demand has changed. Airplanes couldn't move. There was no demand for oil. The surpluses were building up. It was expensive to store oil. People had no place to store oil, and because of the glut in demand, it crashed. And then the regulations came. Everybody was like, cham siong, you don't produce so much, I don't produce so much, regulate the price. Okay, price started to go back up. And now it's hit $75 again, the price of where oil was pre-COVID. For oil to go past 75 to hit higher highs, something has to change. It's either supply has to drop drastically or demand has to increase drastically. What is the probability of it happening? On one side, the oil bulls are saying that, okay, the market is going to open up, right? We are going to see travel soon, oil is going to go up. So there are people who are waiting for this price. Then yes, the other side, the oil bears are saying nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. We are still oversupplied. And this is the area the oil bears will trade. Where am I? I'm currently more towards a bearish side because I feel that as a trader, I would like to see the price action appear first, then take the trade. So I would prefer to do what the charts are telling me. And if we just Google very simple oil news, all right, you can see 1 day ago, crude falls. 11 hours ago, oil up. 2 days ago, oil extends losses. So what oil is doing is going up, down, based on speculation. All right. So if you look at the economics of life, all right, the economics of life is I think inside this stream, there's almost 20 of us, right? The 20 of us here, let's just take a poll. Who has planned their next holiday when? Let's take a poll. Anybody going for holiday soon? Taking as in holiday, not boat, plane. Anybody boarding a plane to go for holiday soon? How many people in the stream or in YouTube, whatever? You know, if you are going for a holiday, just say yes.
I'm planning to be a digital nomad. Does that count?
No, it doesn't count. You have to actually physically get on an aeroplane. Okay, who is going?
Digital nomad, I still have to fly around to be a digital nomad in another country. One.
How to be a digital nomad? Like what?
All I need is a laptop and an internet.
Okay, so Lloyd is number one. When is your flight plan?
Well, actually, I will actually aim this year end.
Aim this year end. Okay, then aim this year end. Whether or not you actually fly, we'll wait for this year end to see whether it happens. So have you bought your tickets yet?
No, I already have my itinerary out.
That one not counted. Okay, so this is what I mean by people want to fly. People would love to fly. People are gearing to fly, but who has actually bought their plane tickets? Right? Who has actually bought their plane tickets? Who has actually started boarding planes to go across country, to cross the borders? Internal flight not counted, like interstate flight not counted, because that is the regular demand where people have to go interstate, like the US, 50 states, right? They have to go interstate for whatever domestic flights, not quite counted, you know, because the COVID is contained within that border. But cross-border, who is going to cross the border? There's no one crossing the border yet, but there's a lot of talk about it. There's a lot of talk about, oh, we can fly soon, everybody's getting vaccinated soon, herd mentality, you know, the herd immunity, whatever. But until it happens, okay, until that happens, oil is going to go one day up, one day down, one day up, one day down, unless someone bombs the oil field. Then there is opportunity to pick it up, and it's really, you know, pick it up or short sell it, right? Or some tariff comes out, or some war breaks out, or I mean, there has to be something drastic to either supply or demand to push oil into a certain pricing. But if we just talk about basic human economics, social economics, right? It is now price is at the highest ever. What's going to happen here? What factors need to be in play to push oil to one direction? And if people are still not able to fly, it just means that everybody is still wait and see, right? Wait and see how the situation, but you can't buy your plane tickets, you can't book your flights. Airlines can't fill their flights, which means nothing has started yet. So what's going to happen to oil in the next couple of months? I feel there's a lot more consolidation going. I feel that oil is going to go up 1 week, down 1 week, up 1 day, down 2 days. It's going to go sideways. So oil will be good for structural range trading. Okay, so if you look at these 3 daily candles, right? These 3, I'm just trying to delete the blue parts now. Okay, if you look at this 3 monthly candle, the last 3 months, oil is fluctuating between 60, the low is 64, 60, 64, let's put it 65. All right, 65. So if I go on a daily time frame and I put a, hang on, and I put a 65 color, 65 line. That's why 65 line. And I'm going to add these settings here for a $65 in price. 65. Okay, oil has, this is daily time frame 65. What it means is on the hourly time frame, on my favorite time frame, what it looks like is price is just going to go from here, hit here, here, hit here. So I'm just trading in between this area. And if we go on H4 time frame, we will be able to find opportunities. Like H4 looks a bit cleaner, right? Because it's more space to look at. Okay, it just means that over here we have opportunity to trade. Oh, the color wrong. Over here we have opportunity to take it long. Okay, this much long. Over here we have the opportunity to take it short. So I'm just trading the pivot levels, the daily pivot levels. So this is very technical because I don't think oil is going to go in a certain direction. So I just trade what the chart tells me. So if we go back to tradable charts, Lloyd, feel free to interrupt me if you have any good trades. All right, tradable charts. My first attempt to pick this up was to take it here. All right, but why I exited was because there is a previous high here. So I'm looking for another entry in, but I'm waiting for a bit more retracement and see whether I can get it cheaper. If not, I might again attempt to go long at this price. But I'm just very conscious that I'm in a retracement area on the H1, all right? But I'm still going to go long because it looks like a very, it looks like it's going to touch, it's bound somewhere. So we'll see how. You'll see how you can see maybe I exited too fast, didn't do enough analysis. Price is going to continuation candle going to go up again. Pick it up again tomorrow when the daily pivot hits. Daily pivot gets hit again. Yeah.
I'll share my last analysis before we end the session. Yeah, so just now I was telling you that if I'm going to break my own rules, I'll do it in front of you all. I mean, yeah, so this is the way that I can see myself breaking my own rules is that, so this is the level that I'm supposed to trade originally. But if price is doing this, then what I'm waiting for price to do is do this before I actually jump in. Yeah, so this is a level where my price actually broken to me, not that significant, but still a level that I see. And this is the yellow shaded area whereby I want to see price breaks and retest. That means it's really getting out of a range before I actually jump in. Yeah. So when price hits here, that's where I'll actually shift my TP. And if it breaks this level, which is the original level that I intended to trade from, then I will hold my trade as long as possible. Yeah, so that's my goal. I don't think you'll do such a huge search today. So tomorrow we'll reassess and see how it goes. The next trade, which is a higher probability, whereby I will take in what's time now? 1 hour's time is actually Aussie CAP. So if you recall Aussie CAP, I was actually waiting for a reversal trade on the daily time frame for Aussie CAP. Yeah, so you can see that price comes down. I was hoping for a bounce. Yeah, essentially it did not bounce. So on H4, this is what we are looking at. So I'm prepared to actually take this trade as a trend continuation and trade it down all the way to the next significant level that's on my chart. So this will actually be one of those. If it performs well, then you'll also be one of my bumper harvest trades. Now the key question is not whether my trade entry is valid or not. But the key question is that a potential that trade actually runs down all the way here? Looking at the monthly chart, I think that's a potential. It's not as if price has not been to this level. Price has indeed been to this level, and it's actually looking from past, it did happen. Yeah, so the potential is there, and this is not an extreme level. The extreme level will actually be all the way at about 0.7 in this area. Yeah, so I think I'm still in a good position to actually place this trade. And if I look at the weekly chart,
Are you going short, is it?
I'm going short, yeah. So the price continuation from here is actually pretty real. Yeah, the possibility is there. Yeah, so the reversal actually didn't happen to what I hope to see. Then from the reversal, I'll switch over to the normal trend continuation. Yeah, so you can see the price broke, hesitation. And if this ends up as a bearish engulfing bar, it essentially is a engulfing of the mini small consolidation area. I'll be happy to jump in. Yeah, so when price reach here, either I will TP1 or just trail my stop loss. But given my personality, I should just be trailing my stop loss. Yeah, I rarely take TP1s anymore. So
I'm really glad you shared this pair. Yeah, I got in yesterday actually, but seeing that you're waiting for short also, it means that I won't take profit so fast. I wait also.
No, hourly time frame, it broke out of the range already anyway, and tested 0.92 several times. So I think the potential is there for price to actually go way lower.
Yeah. I mean, on the hourly time frame, I took it yesterday based on the hourly strategy. So I intended to take profit at DS1, but since you are waiting for it to go lower, I will just trail my stop loss and wait lah. Maybe you will help me get a better yield on this particular trade.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lloyd.
0.9148 is definitely viable, I think. Yeah. So so this is the higher possibility trade that I think will turn out that will happen in an hour's time. Yeah. For gold, lesser possibility. Yeah. For Aussie CAP, yes. All right. So this will be we'll see what happens tomorrow in tomorrow's session. All right. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.